Hello and welcome to One Storyteller, where we are continuing our march through the Fellowship of the Ring. I am Reagan.
I'm Andrew.
Thank you. And we are in chapters 8 and 9 today.
Yes.
Theoretically, I think we'll do 8 and 9
Yeah.
together. So it's the Barrow Downs chapter and the first Bree chapter, and we'll just see where the story goes from there. Do you have any thoughts upon first reading of these chapters? Are these chapters you like? Are these chapters you hate? You mentioned the other day that there was we were coming up to your first complaint, but I forget exactly where that is.
It's in the knife in the dark.
So we're not quite there yet.
Yeah, a little ways off.
So you're still a Tolkien apologist for this?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Very much.
Okay. Well, good to know.
Yeah.
I'll be the hater then.
No. Yeah, this is terrible.
Yeah.
He has to do the opposite of somebody.
Well, I'm just very balanced, as things should be or something. I never watched that movie. So
you
I don't know
asked
the quote.
what my initial impression was for these chapters.
Yep.
They're all like pretty different, I think. Even
Mhm.
like the Sign of the Prancing Pony is pretty different from the Strider chapter.
Mm-hmm.
I like them all, but there's also some interesting bits we'll talk about too as they come up.
Okay, I trust that you will bring up the interesting bits.
I will endeavor to do so.
Cool. I have less notes on these chapters than I have on any of the previous ones.
Okay.
So
Are they just less engaging, or are you kind of slacking off?
I don't know. I think there's just less there. It's a lot more. There's a lot more about the actual journey that they're going on, and so they like go to a place, and there's a lot more factual statements than there is like speculative ideas that are introduced.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
That's fair.
I have less to pontificate on, which makes me upset. Or probably I could make stuff up, but I don't feel like that's the.
No, it's probably good that we don't just make stuff
but
up.
I could make stuff up. So, Fog on the Barrow Downs, the chapter where Frodo kills Sauron. What a cool chapter!
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, that's what I read. That's in the official version.
Okay.
So
I don't believe that.
Yeah.
You just said you weren't gonna make stuff up.
I said it would be fun,
Okay.
and it was fun. It made me happy.
All right.
For
Well,
like
let's talk about
a
the actual chapter.
Okay. So chapter 8, Fog on the Barrow Downs. So we start off with Frodo having a dream for like a sentence,
Yes.
and then it's done.
Bit of a run-on sentence.
Yes, it's 2 sentences, but or is it? I don't even know. No, I think it's just one sentence.
Yep.
It's interesting. Do you have thoughts on the dream and what the dream means? Is this a significant dream?
I think so. But that might be influence from the movie, though. Because this is a line that Gandalf says to Pippin in The Return of the King in the movies. With the, the gray curtain being rolled back. You'll see a far green country with white shores.
Mm-hmm.
That's a riff on this dream that Frodo has right in the second sentence of The Fog on the Barrow Downs.
Yeah.
I know, like, the first dream Frodo has while he's here. Or no, that's not right. We saw a dream Frodo had right after spending the night in the Elven shelter with Gildor. That was really alluding to going over the sea.
Yeah.
And so I think it's pretty reasonable to do what Peter Jackson did, even though he did it in a different place, is to connect this to that idea of going into the West as well.
Yeah.
But it is less clear, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it is a little bit, but even so, you have it's a gray rain curtain. There's still the water imagery that you need to part the water or cross the water in some way to get to the far green country. So you've got that picture of like water leading to something that's wonderful if you can only get through it. You have this imagery that Frodo's journey is good for him, and it's going to end up in a good place, even if it's not a comfortable route to get there, which is really kind of the picture of chapter 8 in general, because
it is a good summary of it. some of what we're going to say in this chapter, and even some of what we were starting to do in the last couple of chapters, is like sort of redundant.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually believe it's redundant, but there's not a better way to say it. It's just like Tolkien is putting out ideas and then he's building ideas.
Yeah.
And he's using very similar episodes or even very similar language. And so people who are commentating on the books are forced to do the same thing.
Fair enough.
So bear with us while we do that.
Yeah. Oh, but if we say it every time like we think it's a new thing.
No, that would make me upset
we
if I was listening.
Very enthusiastically.
Well, I am enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Well,
then be enthusiastic.
Okay.
You know, if you act like you're confident, people will think you're confident.
I'm not saying I'm not enthusiastic.
Exactly.
I'm just saying
then people
this might be a little redundant.
Nah, easy.
Okay.
So Frodo dreams classic, and then they just kind of leave. They just say goodbye. There is strikingly no dialogue from Tom at all.
Yeah.
In any of this. There is like one line from Goldberry.
Yes.
While they leave, and then Tom and Goldberry are gone, and the hobbits are by themselves.
Yeah.
And why? I think that is picking up from last chapter, where as soon as Frodo uses the ring, Tom immediately kicks him out, essentially. Immediately starts talking about, okay, it's time for you to go. Right? Maybe. And then you move into this chapter, and Tom, the talkative one who never shuts up, suddenly doesn't get a line of dialogue. It's implied that he's talking about various things, but we have no idea, like any of the specific wording he says, which is very odd, and you won't find him talking until later on in the chapter when he resurges from his absence. So after all the personableness of the last chapter, now we have nothing. And that was very striking to me as I was reading it.
Interesting.
Not unwelcome, because I don't love Tom, but
that's horrible.
It's a different thing.
Yeah. I think that's pushing things a little too far. You might be onto something. It's possible.
Probably.
I
see if I'm confident. I'm confident.
One thing that's striking to me in the forest chapters is that, like, we could get a lot of dialogue from Tom in the Old Forest chapter, like right toward the end.
Yeah.
And then that does slowly taper off throughout the House of Tom Bombadil chapter. But the Hobbits have, like, almost no dialogue in the House of Tom Bombadil.
True.
Frodo maybe says, like, one or two things in the whole chapter.
Yeah.
And that's even true in most of this chapter. Mm-hmm. It's like one of the things that really sets it apart from Sign of the Prancing Pony and the Strider chapter.
Yeah. Is
like this Old Forest Barrow Down section is more sweeping, more broad strokes when it comes to dialogue, at least. Mm-hmm. I don't know if there's too much to it, except like is by design, of course, and it just makes these chapters feel pretty different from each other.
Yeah. It is a stylistic choice. It's definitely intentional. It's just it's striking on the back of a whole chapter in which Tom does nothing but talk.
Yes.
And so,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, cool. That's good. So there's it's almost foreboding in a way.
No, that I will buy. That I'll buy.
Good.
Yeah.
There we go. Easy.
It is foreboding.
Yeah, it is. It is odd that Goldberry gets a line of dialogue.
It is.
In which, like, nobody else talks, and she just says bye, and then she leaves. Mm-hmm. She kind of, like, appears right in front of them, and then disappears again. And that's odd. I don't really know what to do with that.
Yeah, well, okay. I don't know either, but here's a couple things to chew on, perhaps. Mm-hmm. I don't know enough about this to really unpack it, or it's just something to think about. Is like there's not a lot of women in Lord of the Rings. Mm-hmm. No, it's just not that kind of story, I guess, for the most part. But a couple of the most notable times, there are these lordly women. I think we can It's a bit looser when you apply it to Goldberry,
Mm-hmm.
but she, Arwen to some extent, and especially Galadriel.
Okay.
And then Eowyn is a very different kind of character.
Yeah.
But there's that Frodo is like testing his chivalrous instincts against Goldberry. Like, you're our hostess. Let me praise you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we left without saying goodbye to our hostess.
Yeah.
This is terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, here's our hostess. She is just up on that hilltop.
Yep.
So there's probably more to say about that. That's all I can say about it, though.
Mm-hmm.
One other thing, though, that's different than that is she's described interestingly here. Like in the House of Tom Bombadil, he or she is connected to. She's described almost as being enthroned among water lilies.
Yeah.
Not literally, but just in the way she appears with her attire.
Yeah.
And here she is connected with a lot of like other kinds of water image, like rippling and flowing in regard to her garments and her hair. What's there was something else too.
There's river imagery. There's like dew imagery.
Yes.
For some reason.
Mm-hmm. I didn't want to make something up, but I could have sworn there was something like it sounds weird if I can't find it, but I thought there was something about fish as well. Well, all right. You can. I should have written that down.
Are there fishes?
But okay, I can still make my point even if I'm just making stuff up there. But Goldberry's really connected to water. Like she's the daughter of the river.
Yeah.
So she along with Tom are obviously representing like their transition to greater and more dangerous stages of the adventure.
Mm-hmm.
That's clear in a lot of other ways.
Yeah.
But it's also neat seeing the connection to the sea, like you've mentioned. All rivers lead to the sea. And this Tom and Goldberry are very they offer a lot of nostalgia for the old ways, which the best part of the old days are found in the Western world, which obviously Frodo will go to eventually.
Mm-hmm. But for now, he has to detour in the east.
Yeah.
Like the fish. Apparently.
That's not where the fish were brought up.
That's not where the fish are brought up. This is a shame. I don't remember any fish, but also...
it probably was in an earlier description.
Mm.
But we'll just leave that for now.
Just moving on. We'll go somewhere else. So Frodo and his merry band of adventurers...
And Pippin and Sam band.
All right.
Sorry, go ahead.
Right. His band of happy people go into the Barrow Downs.
Yes.
Which is not a great place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Barrows being like tombs, I think.
Yeah.
Or
just,
memorial sites of some sort.
You have a hill raised up over a grave.
Yeah. So that's not a great place to be.
No.
Right? When you're trying to avoid the Black Riders and the death they bring by going into the death spot, that just doesn't seem like a great idea. Strangely, the Black Riders don't come into there.
No.
It's the only... other than the Old Forest, it's the only place that they haven't been.
Yeah.
Which is also curious. But they go into the Barrow Downs and spend some time there. At first, it's a vibe.
Yes.
Is how I would...
Almost a problem, how much of a vibe it is.
Yes. They end up taking it... Like, everything is wrong that they describe.
Yeah, everything.
There's no wind. There is... even though they're up on the hills, there isn't any kind of breeze. the sun is like warm, but it doesn't warm any of the rocks that are in the Barrow Downs.
Oh, interesting.
And so, yeah, because it says they
No, you're right.
they propped up against the stones, but it was like cool, like the sun didn't warm it, and it's just like everything's just wrong. Like nature doesn't work properly.
It's a little foreboding, at least.
Yeah, not foreboding enough for them because they take a nap.
Yeah,
classic.
It's sort of like not sort of. It's really anticlimactic. It's like, okay, our adventurers, they just got rescued from like the terrible sorceress Willow Tree, old man Willow, and they're just educated a lot on the Barrow Downs and the Old Forest by Tom Bombadil. They know this is dangerous. They have to go through it. They know it's dangerous and they need to make good time. But then Frodo's like, man, he's like, splendid. If we keep making such good time, we're totally fine. And everyone's like, yeah, we could just chill out here. We're doing so good. And that's the problem.
Yeah,
it's almost Pippin-ish. Is like, we're great. We don't have anything to worry about. Yeah, kind of fits into the kinds of mistakes we've seen him make.
Yeah, and there was even there was a line later on about how when Tom ultimately leads them out, oh, that wasn't as close as I thought. We wouldn't have actually gotten through in today, or it would have been like very late evening when they left. As Frodo is leaving.
I forgot about that. So it's even predicated on a mistake on their part.
Yeah. Even if they had made perfect time, they would have only just barely gotten out.
Yes.
But they feel like they have time to eat a full meal and
just laze about,
take a nap.
Yeah.
Right. It's the comforts of home that they've taken on the road, and that's not appropriate for the road. So I like it.
You have to have a different attitude.
Yes. They take a nap, and the fog comes in, which is terrifying.
No, the way Tolkien describes all that is like, it's really creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't see with all the fog rolling in, and there's like one thing. Frodo's trying to lead them desperately. He's just kind of guessing. Yes. But you kind of get this like frantic buildup, like even just reading the actions. There's not too much dialogue, but you read what they're trying to do, and I start feeling kind of frantic myself.
Yeah.
And Frodo passes between like this sort of arch that reminds him of a gate or door. And once he passes through there, everything gets even worse.
Yeah.
And there, with a lot of like the supernatural things in Lord of the Rings, Tolkien just doesn't bother trying to like quantify or explain it.
Yeah.
But Frodo says he didn't recognize seeing this like arch at all during the daylight. Yeah. But now it's here.
True.
And he passes through the door and everything. He's like in the Barrow White's world now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's mildly terrifying.
Oh, yes.
To go into there. And is that the point at which he loses his friends, or did he lose his friends right before that?
It was right around there.
It was right. It's okay. It's the middle of page 157 if you're using the official version, which is a new official version because I replaced my old one because it is breaking and falling apart in my hands.
Yes.
Yeah, there's the pillars of a headless door, 2 standing stones. He didn't see any sign of those from the hill in the morning. Yeah. But it's right after, it's the paragraph after that he starts calling for his friends and realizes they're not there. Yeah. So basically they took too long, and so to make up for lost time, they rush ahead, which is a stupid thing to do, and all of them get lost. Merry, Pippin, and Sam just disappear, and then Frodo is also there, not disappeared, but maybe he's only not disappeared because he's our viewpoint character. To the others, he's also gone.
I get the sense that what's happening to Frodo is happening to everyone else.
Yeah. Because he like vaguely hears them as they're going off in the fog. He hears voices, and then he hears like cries of pain, and it sounds like everybody's just being abducted one by one.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good time.
And the way, there's not like too much like extra stuff to say about this, except it's just chilling and well written. Yes, literally. The way though Barrow White is introduced is Frodo's calling for help, and he hears a voice underground. It says, "I'm here. I'm waiting for you." And Frodo's like, "No."
And then just sits there.
He can't do anything else.
Yeah. Rip Frodo. So the adventure's over.
You know, later Gandalf will say this was the most danger they were ever in.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I believe it. Actually, I have questions about it. I feel like they should have just died here. But,
yeah,
whatever. We will get to that in just a second. Lord of the Rings Online. I keep bringing it up.
Oh, no. Brace yourselves. Brace yourselves.
It is why I know the geography of Middle-earth so well. And, as I'm reading through this, as I'm reading through Bree, I'm starting to understand why Lord of the Rings Online is designed in the way it is. Okay. Because it's always been weird to me that there's a gate in the middle of a hedge. But that's just because there's a description of there being a hedge and there's a gate in the middle of the hedge. And so, even as he describes things about the Barrow Downs or about the Bree land, I can picture it in Lord of the Rings Online, and I know exactly what it means. He says,
"That's awesome."
Yeah, there's a bit where the prancing pony's on the corner, and there's this big road to the right. The main road curves to the right, and it talks about how the inn is, right where it curves to the right. It's crazy. I can just picture it in my mind. It's great. The Barrow Downs is the first location in the game that you get to where you really shouldn't be doing it by yourself. Mm-hmm. You really need somebody else there because the enemies actually have way too much health for what they should. And you can do it, but it takes a lot longer than anything else before that. So I feel like that was an intentional design decision. Yeah. It's also where you naturally unlock the ability to go on raids with big groups of people so that you all go up in the barrows, and it's very cool. Huh. But it's a great game anyway. We should play it sometime. Yeah, that's all I really have on that. Frodo gets captured, all his friends get captured too. Yeah. Rip them.
It's Tom Bombadil referred earlier in he refers to a lot of things in his stories. Most of it's a summary in the previous chapter. Yeah. But he talks about, I was here before the Dark Lord was here. Yeah. And he's not talking about Sauron. That's that's barely that's hardly any length of time compared to what he's seen, if he's been here from the very beginning. He's talking about Morgoth, Melkor, when he's talking about the Dark Lord. Yeah. And I think the Barrow Wight is also talking about Morgoth. He has this terrible...
with the song?
Terrible, depressing song about claiming their lives in preparation for the end of the world, where he expects the Dark Lord to triumph. And I think he's ultimately thinking about Morgoth as well. It matches some, tidbits and prophecies from the Silmarillion.
Interesting.
And it wouldn't really match for Sauron, because Sauron is here, but the Barrow Wight is still waiting for the dark power he's singing about.
Interesting. Yeah. Isn't the Barrow Wight song a snippet of what Gollum sings in the Two Towers?
Yes.
Or something? Interesting. I don't know what to make of that, but...
No. It sounds like something Gollum would be...
Yeah, Gollum seems depressed.
Would be bullied by. Yeah.
Huh. Yes, so they get into the Barrow, right? First thing that Frodo does, he's caught, but he remembers Bilbo, and that gives him courage.
Yes.
Which is interesting. I've talked a lot about how the Baggins name has been a curse.
You have.
And in many ways, it continues to be a curse. But in this instance, not everything Bilbo did was bad. And in this instance, the Baggins name gives him courage. He knows the stories. He knows his lineage. Well, his adopted lineage anyway. Yeah. And so he takes courage from Bilbo, and he wants to be like Bilbo. So he steps forward and does his own thing in the adventure. Interestingly enough, at this point, if he's in a barrow, that means he is under hill.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
So Underhill becomes a problem for him, just like it will be in the next couple of chapters, because that doesn't actually work as an alias, and everybody kind of knows who he is, but,
Sure,
we'll move on from that.
That's
so
clever.
There's an interesting byplay with the names that is purposeful, I think.
Interesting. No, I wouldn't know what to do with that.
Mm-hmm. Me neither. I'm just pointing it out.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
But you're right. He's getting strength from Bilbo's legacy. One of the first times Bilbo really shines is by himself when all his friends are captured. Is with the spiders in the forest. Yeah. And he steps up and using a sword in particular,
Mm-hmm.
he defeats the spiders and saves his friends.
Interesting.
So I think maybe there's some parallels here. I think Bilbo being brought up is because it's sort of similar.
Yeah.
It's written differently. Like it's not as fun in games as taunting and stabbing spiders.
No, not really.
But Lord of the Rings is different from The Hobbit, like we already been talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But this is his like solo heroic moment. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the moment where Frodo comes into his own.
But okay,
Yes.
I'll keep talking.
Okay.
It's his solo heroic moment, but the thing that gets them out of it isn't Frodo, right?
No,
There's
all.
something very Christian about that.
Mm-hmm.
Is he has courage, he acts, and that allows him to ask for help that can actually help them.
Yeah.
Maybe he could fight a spider, but he can't fight a horrible undead monster like this.
Yeah.
And he calls for Bombadil's help, and Bombadil comes.
He can back into a corner and sing.
Yeah.
That is his solution.
He's
When in doubt,
yeah.
sing.
I don't know. The songs that Bombadil sings against the White are also very cosmic,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. Like the Barrow White is singing about like the end of the world being swallowed up in darkness, and Bombadil has a very different view for the world, and that's even seen in their songs. So that's interesting.
Interesting.
Because Bombadil's like, yeah, you're gonna be shut in the.
Basically, you're out in the outer darkness.
Yes, you're gonna be shut past this gate in the outer darkness. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost exactly what it says.
Yeah, and it's until the world is mended, not not until the darkness comes back into the world.
So I think that's kind of cool.
Interesting.
These two worldviews at war and
competing
song.
prophecies.
Yeah. But Frodo grabs a sword, and I love this moment. Like, it's sort of weird to like have our heroes doing so well, and then just like broad strokes, they're really dumb. They sleep, they are lazy, and they get captured.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it works, but it's anticlimactic.
Yeah.
But here, Frodo, I love this moment a lot, where Frodo is being tempted by the ring.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if I leave, like, he has enough wherewithal right now, but his friends are totally under the enchantment of the Wraith. Well, that's not right. The White.
Yeah.
The undead monster.
It's fine.
And his friends are totally under this enchantment. And it's like the ring is telling him, you should just leave.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need your friends.
Gandalf wouldn't blame you.
Gandalf wouldn't blame you. And, that's probably true.
Yeah.
Gandalf's like, yeah, there's probably nothing you could have done.
Mm-hmm.
But Frodo has two realizations, which is he can't abandon his friends.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, he doesn't have to save them by himself.
Yeah.
Because he can call upon Tom Bombadil.
Yeah.
So this temptation, all these whispers in his ears from the ring, are wrong on both accounts.
Yeah. It is nice to see him right now where the loyalty to his friends takes precedence over the temptation of the ring, because that is not always true. That's not, by the time you get to the end of the story, he's a lot more reluctant to give up the ring than he should be, from what I recall. And
that is true. That's true.
He is more pure-hearted here than he ultimately will be, because I think. I'm saying this not having read these in a decade.
No, I think that's sort of misleading to phrase it that way.
Okay.
Frodo would definitely become more corrupted, but
he's
able to do everything he does because of his loyalty.
Interesting.
I really don't think that's something we see decline.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. But here it is what allows him to resist.
Yeah.
I think maybe this is pedantic for sure, but instead of phrasing it like his loyalty declines, it's that the temptation gets more and more and more.
Yeah.
And that's going to become, we can talk about that a lot at the end of Return of the King. Like, what's it mean that Frodo fails even after all this?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, here, I think it's so good that, like, if he hadn't been loyal here, I think the ring would have got him a lot earlier.
Yeah.
Because that's giving into its corruption and cowardice. That's Gollum behavior.
Yeah.
if you just run away and abandon your friends.
Yeah. But you can see his true character when he's
Yeah.
pushed to the edge is like, I could do this, but I shouldn't.
Yeah, exactly.
And that
it's really encouraging.
it's nice to see.
Yeah. It's
He's a
like
good guy.
in the second chapter, Shadow of the Past, where Frodo is like completely overwhelmed. He's been thrown into the off the deep end by Gandalf. But after thinking about it, he's like, I'll take the ring.
Yeah.
I want to help people. I want to help my home and even people I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a line in this chapter. Man, I thought I wrote down more page numbers than I did. This is the second time I've misplaced.
Oh, page numbers are useful.
I liked the phrase of it, so I wanted to find it exactly.
Tough.
But he talks about, though he didn't know it, Bilbo and Gandalf thought he was like one of the best hobbits in the Shire.
Yeah. He was the best of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
You're not just making that up.
Okay. It's been corroborated.
It is. It's in there somewhere.
I'm being backed up here.
Maybe.
But I was just going to say that because there's a good summary of like this scene for this true character.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's a little interesting note because, probably we'd say Frodo is writing even the Fellowship of the Ring. But some people think Bilbo wrote, well, obviously Tolkien wrote it, but in the framing of the story, that Bilbo wrote the first part of Fellowship of the Ring.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That would be curious.
Yeah.
Although I guess
it's possible.
I mean, even if Frodo wrote it, it's no weirder than Moses saying Moses was the most humble man who ever lived.
Yeah, well, I don't think Moses said that.
Depending on your view of who actually wrote that bit of numbers.
Yeah. Would it be in Deuteronomy,
chapter.
Right?
No, that's when
Miriam
Miriam and Aaron come to him.
Okay.
Yeah. Moses definitely did not write about how Moses was buried.
Okay. I thought you meant that. I'd still disagree with that other point too.
Yeah,
but not as much as that one.
I don't think Moses wrote, I was the most humble man who ever lived.
Well,
but it is a funny picture. It is a funny thing to think about. It's numbers 12 something, like the first few verses.
Well, okay. Before we move on, I had one other Bible reference here.
Oh.
Which is this idea, like it's anticlimactic and discouraging seeing they're rescued in the forest. Like, okay, maybe they learned something from that, right?
No.
And they go out of the forest and just experience abject failure.
Yeah. Even worse, because in the forest, Frodo fought the sleep and Sam did not sleep. But in the Barrow Downs, all of them sleep.
Yeah, it's a darker...
Well, it's all of them sleep,
danger.
Which gets them into trouble, and then they're all slowly kidnapped. So.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I love that. I'm sure there's
I don't
intentional
love that.
parallel
That's
there.
Terrible.
Well, no, you know what I mean.
Yes.
It's a great connection.
It is a great
Thanks for pointing that out.
Thank you. I thought it was good.
Yeah. But it makes me think about, and maybe you can remember the chapters off the top of your head. I know it's in the 20s somewhere in 1 Samuel.
Oh.
David has this great moment of triumph where he chooses not to kill Saul, and he restrains his men from killing Saul.
Yep.
But in the very next chapter, 24, okay.
Yep.
In chapter 25, he's tested again. He gets really angry and says, I'm going to kill this fool Naboth.
Nabal.
Thank you. Here I am, just making stuff up. Yeah, he says he's going to kill Nabal.
Mm-hmm.
And
him and every other
man
he would have
failed it. He would have failed that test if there hadn't been intervention.
True.
So I think that's interesting. I don't know if that's probably not intentional, but it reflects a truth that
it's probably allegorical.
No, stop.
Oh, okay.
But it reflects this truth of like take heed lest you fall.
Mm-hmm.
It's also something in the Bible.
Yeah.
Like you can be really great and really, really good. But if you let that swell up into pride, then your triumphs become your failures.
Yeah.
And David was really close to having that happen because he's a person and he got arrogant or forgot the lessons he learned.
Yeah.
And so it's very humanizing and real, even in a fairy story like this, to see Frodo going through the same things. He's going to fail. But even there's like different moments for triumph, for greater failure. Yeah. And Frodo does catch the ball before it touches the ground, if that makes sense.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
Hopefully, a little bit. Yeah, there is, one day you do really well, and that doesn't mean the next day you do really well. Yeah. And Frodo, like I said, got comfortable. They decided to stop. They decided to eat. They decided to relax. And that gets them in all sorts of trouble that they then can't save themselves from. And so I do have a question on the Barrow Wights ritual, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
Why doesn't he just like kill them? Because so you see, right, Frodo wakes up in the barrow. Firstly, I don't know how Frodo's awake and the others aren't, but he has magical powers, so like, okay, that's fine, right? Different people are resistant to different things. Sam did not fall asleep at all for the tree. Frodo did, even ultimately tried to resist, but he also did fall asleep, or at least almost drown. So like, I understand that different people are differently abled in all these ways, but it is odd to me that the Barrow Wight goes to all of this trouble to go and dress them up in like grave clothes, which is a terrifying image, and wrap them up with like all these golden jewels that you would be buried with, and then put a sword across all their throats, and then send an arm to come and like grab the sword and just kill all of them. Why doesn't he just do it then instead of waiting until Frodo wakes?
I feel like I'm missing something every time I read this chapter.
Yeah.
Not because of what you're saying.
Oh.
But
I feel like I'm missing something.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the arm is connected to a Barrow Wight.
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
Gotcha. You phrased that interestingly.
Yeah.
And it's described interestingly. Because all Frodo sees is this arm groping around a corner, which is very creepy.
Nasty. Yeah.
I think it's just a reflection of just how dark it is down there. I think that's why it's described like that.
Okay.
And like how cramped it is, because it's not like a big area.
Yeah.
So this Barrow Wight that was tall when it loomed over Frodo is now kind of skulking under this little cave, basically.
Could be. Yeah.
So I think that's why it's described so strangely. But in Frodo's, I was gonna say Frodo's world, in the Lord of the Rings, magic is often tied to like songs and rituals and things like this. So of course the Barrow Wight is going to do whatever he's doing, claiming their souls, damning their souls, something.
Okay.
Is going to have to be through a horrible song. Yeah. And it's even something like Tom has to undo whatever the Wight did through a song as well. There's another parallel there.
Yeah.
So I think that's why.
Okay.
But it's never something exactly explained.
That's not a super satisfactory answer, but I can
preparation sometimes, I guess.
I can buy it. One of the things I don't like about Tolkien is that he does not explain his magic system, so I don't really understand.
I don't really think he has a magic system.
Yeah. That irritates me personally. I don't like it when people do that, but okay. That's fine.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Tom does come in, and there's this whole resurrection picture where he brings light into the tomb because he like splits it open, and then they walk out. By the way, if you play Lord of the Rings online, you get to do that. Okay. At some point, you get stuck in a barrow, and then Tom comes in. There's a lot of light. It's old, like very old graphics, so it doesn't look very good, but I understand what they're going for, and it's cool. So they are freed from their grave clothes. They get told to get rid of those things, and they can go live normal lives again. Yes. And go and just live out on the hill for a while, and then he goes and gets a bunch of horses and brings them back, or he gets their horses and brings them back, which is cool. Anything else about in the barrow?
No, not in the barrow.
Cool. So Tom gets these horses. He names them all. Mary had named them something different, but it says they really didn't care, and they always answered to what Tom had named them, which is another just cool bit that's kind of dropped there.
Mm-hmm.
They have true names of a sort, and Tom knows them, and the hobbits don't. So it's interesting what he says about the horses. He says their hearts were faithful, but they weren't made to face up to wights.
Yeah.
So they tried their best, but like you put them in an impossible situation. Essentially,
Yes.
don't blame them for it.
Yeah.
Because you guys were stupid.
I like that.
In not so many words, but that's kind
Yeah.
of what he says. Yeah, and then Tom accompanies them through the rest of the Barrow Downs.
Yes.
Yeah. Why didn't he just do that at first?
We talked when we were talking about Tom last time.
Mm-hmm.
I said what I'll stand by, which is he's sort of a force of nature.
Yeah.
He has these unmortal concerns, these other duties.
Yes.
I think that's why. Like he's clearly a good person, but elves are really different from mortals.
Yeah.
And Tom is even really different from elves. Like he's just is not concerned. It's just not his nature to be concerned with the things they're concerned about.
Yeah.
And he tries to help them. And that's what he does here. Is he gives them advice. He says, "Don't stop, keep going, and you'll be safe." And they've just messed up. So I think he's like, I need to make sure these people are okay. And he takes them to the boundary of his lands.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I can't go any further.
True.
Even though they beg him to go.
Yeah.
With them.
Yeah, and it is the same elf picture of like Gildor saying, that's not my job. I've done what I can and can't go further. It just seems like if the Barrows are also his property, he could have just seen them through that and then let them go after it. If he knows there's danger, he gives them a song anyway. So it's kind of weird to me, but I guess it's the same picture of like kind of a parent with children. You don't commandeer everything. You let them take some steps, and then they mess something up and call for help, and that's when you respond. So maybe that's what he's doing.
Yeah, I think that's probably the most helpful way to look at it.
Yeah, Tom is Frodo's real parent the whole time.
He is a very
that's
patient, fatherly figure for them.
For at least a little bit. He does loot. He plunders the white.
Yes.
Which is very odd. He gets rid of all the clothes, but then keeps some of the jewelry and gets them mildly like magical swords. I know they're not really magical, but like special in some way.
Yeah, elves don't believe in magic because it's just normal stuff to them. And some of the older kingdoms of men had that problem or ability or whatever. So we can call them magic swords.
Okay, magic swords are cool. It does say these are blades of Westernese.
Yeah, Westerness.
Something like that.
I'm not sure exactly how you would pronounce it.
It's from
I'm a fake fan.
Yeah, it's from the men who got killed by the evil people of Carn Dûm
and Ingmar.
Which, when Merry wakes up, he talks about getting stabbed by the men of Carn Dûm, and so somehow he's got like a weird memory floating around, probably part of the White's dark song. Magic thing, reminding them of death and stuff, which is not very pleasant. You just hit yourself literally.
I did. I haven't had a whoa moment in a while.
Oh,
okay, but I was going to bring this up a little bit. So this, sorry, I'm just excited. Do you remember who was the ruler of Ingmar?
The Witch King.
Yeah. Yes. So these were wars between Strider's ancestors. They were the ones who made these Barrow Downs and had castles like Weathertop and things like that around here.
I guess that would make sense.
So it's Strider's ancestors, the kingdom of Arnor, and then the little kingdoms after they broke down into terrible civil wars and things. And the evil ones joined the Witch King and Ingmar.
Yeah.
And the other ones eventually put their differences aside and were fighting Ingmar.
Yeah. But
they were destroyed. Even though the Witch King was driven off with help from the elves.
Yeah.
This is like sort of outside the purview of just this book. Or even this series.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's mentioned in the appendices. Okay.
Oh, well, then it's fine.
But Glorfindel, who we'll meet later in this book, he's the one who gives the prophecy. The Witch King's running away. He says, "Don't chase him. he's not going to die by a man. And I think the Witch King overhears that. He's like, no man can kill me, which isn't what Glorfindel says.
Yeah.
But these blades, these kingdoms, are all tied up in fighting the Witch King. And the Witch King's even the one who, like, ensorcels these tombs and, like, invites evil spirits to the barrows.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this evil is here through just the magic of one of Sauron's lieutenants.
Oh.
This whole place. Which is crazy.
Well, that's cool. Where do I find out about that?
I don't. It's like in the appendices.
it's somewhere. Interesting.
But the reason I slapped my head is Mary's the one who has a vision of being, or that horrible twisted memory of being attacked by servants of the Witch King.
Yeah.
And he's the one who's going to help defeat the Witch King.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. And it's going to be with this blade in particular, which.
Yeah.
Tolkien will say in the Battle of the Pelennor Fields, no other blade could have broken the sorcery of the Witch King and allowed him to be killed.
Interesting.
So the fact they get these blades, there's the Return of the King Battle of the Pelennor Fields has so many cool references and tie-ins to everything else in the book, and that's one of them. Spoilers.
Well, I guess we'll keep that in mind for years
it's
from now.
It's probably too much right now, there. But
that's that's fascinating.
It excited me
to know where that ends up going, because it is odd that, like, Mary is the only one who gets that,
and I don't think that's an accident.
Yeah.
Well, sort of foreshadows his grudge match with the Witch King.
Yeah. Mary's gonna dunk on that guy one day. Got him. Yeah. So interesting. Those weapons, to me, they remind me of the ring itself. They are weapons that the enemy controls. Hidden away for years, but they're just as potent. As soon as they're brought into the light, they're still sharp. They haven't rusted, anything like that.
Interesting.
So, but it's like the good version of it.
It's a good version,
essentially.
Yeah.
So that is cool. Yes. So Mary sees his weird vision thing. Then there's this mention as they, like, keep on going out. Frodo finally gets out of the Barrow Downs. All of them get out. And Frodo realizes the shortcut was not actually a shortcut, which is a familiar phrase.
Very familiar.
A couple of chapters ago. It did spare them from the road.
Yeah, and so now they're getting back on the road.
Yes, but it spared them from the Black Rider for the moment, so that was good. But also, it wasn't really a shortcut. So, like, Pippin was also kind of right that the Old Forest is kind of sketchy, and why would we go in there? So,
Pippin's just anti-shortcut.
Yeah, and he's kind of right.
Yep. Very
interesting. And Tom points them towards Bree and ultimately the Barlaman, who is at the inn there. So that's
the prancing pony.
That's where they will end up going. How are we doing on time? Why don't we split chapter 9 between this episode and next episode? We'll talk about them getting into the city here, so that we don't go over like an hour here, and then next.
That's
episode,
controversial.
That is controversial.
I'm game to do it that way.
Hey, we can do whatever we want to. We own this thing. We do. We're
on a power trip.
We are allowed. Yeah. I'm just utilizing it. The thought that Tom knows Butterbur and is recommending him is interesting. Does that mean that Tom has met with him, like he has met with Maggot?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think
because Butterbur's a lot more aware of, like, important stuff than I would think from a random innkeeper.
Yes.
Yeah. He has connections beyond his abilities, shall we say.
So as far as Bombadil goes, I think it's more a sign of, like, him being kept in the loop.
Okay.
Maggot probably knows something about Butterbur.
Okay.
Tom gets news from Maggot. Tom gets news from Gildor. Yeah. Or, like, people associated with Gildor.
True.
I'd imagine that's what it is. Tom says he can't go toward Bree. He says he's come to the edge of his land.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't really think he would go out that way.
Yeah. Well, Maggot also comes to Tom. He comes to the Old Forest. So I don't know if Butterbur would have done the same thing.
So that's the second thing.
Yeah.
So I don't think Tom goes to Butterbur. And Butterbur
probably doesn't.
He's a he's a much better guy than Frodo gives him credit for,
Mm-hmm.
even though he's got, his quirks and stuff.
Oh, yes, he does.
But he is not he's not an adventurer.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good and generous, helpful guy as far as it goes.
Yeah.
But he's not an adventurer.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't imagine him going into the forest.
Fair enough.
Can't.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, interesting. Then there's a connection there somewhere, but not sure exactly what it is. At the very end of the chapter, this is where Frodo rejects the name Baggins again. He was Baggins for all of chapter 7 and 8, and now he's back to being Underhill for the purposes of going into Bree. Of course, it doesn't really work, as we're going to find out in chapter 10, because, somebody happens to overhear this conversation and repeat it word for word verbatim in a couple chapters, but
yes,
we'll get there in a moment. So the first part of chapter 9, and just like the first few pages,
sure,
up until they actually get into the inn, Bree is interesting. Do you have any thoughts on the description of Bree, or Bree land as it is?
Sure. So the hobbits came to Buckland by night.
Yes.
And it's homey enough, but it's on the border, and being at night makes it ominous.
Mm-hmm.
Also, that they're on the heels of, they're afraid of the riders coming after them.
Yeah.
Which they were right to be afraid of.
Fair enough.
And so I think introduction to Bree is meant to really evoke all those similar emotions. Tolkien starts with like a little history introduction, just like he did for Buckland.
Yeah.
It's also night. And it's also, but strikingly, there's no mention of Black Riders.
Yeah.
Though they do
Not
see
yet.
someone sneaking over the wall.
Do they?
Yeah. Or, well, the narrator does. They don't.
I forget this.
Yeah. It turns out it's not a ring wraith, but
Yeah.
I think it's
Oh,
phrased
yeah,
in such a way
you're right.
to make us think they're being followed by a
Yeah.
wraith.
Which
Turns
they are.
out to be true.
Yeah.
But I think it's really cool how Tolkien is like using that earlier introduction here. And Bree serves a very similar purpose. It's it's not really as much of a threshold, because there's no chance of them staying here, but it shows the progression.
No.
Like,
well,
Buckland is less safe than Hobbiton.
Yeah.
Bree is a lot less safe than Buckland was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's the next step as as Tolkien is ramping up the tension.
The next step.
And even Butterbird does offer for them to stay quite a while in chapter 10. Like, you just stay here for a while until things quiet down. Stay quiet in the inn.
Yeah, to be fair, delay is a big temptation throughout this book especially.
Yeah. But ultimately the answer is no. But there is still a choice to be made on how they set out, when they set out, with whom they set out. And that'll all be raised in the next couple of chapters. So, in the primarily chapter 10, which we'll talk about next time. Bree is described as generally friendly, even with hobbits. Shorter than most people. So it's like
the Breelanders are shorter than other men.
Yeah. They're not even like the real big people yet. It's the hobbits are ramping up away from that.
Yeah.
They're described as being long established in their lands. They've been here since, forever. The hobbits here are the original hobbits, and the Shire folk are ripoffs. Basically, they seem to be described in every way as being hobbits without actually technically being hobbits. They have very similar mannerisms.
They have a similar isolation.
Yeah.
They weren't always that way. Like, people used to traffic a lot through here.
And on this particular night, there is a lot of traffic, but that is abnormal.
Yeah.
At that point.
So they are isolated. So yeah, it is like the Shire 2.0 or something like that as far as the narrative goes.
Yeah. There is a call out of there are these rangers that exist.
Yeah.
And they're kind of different, and the Breelanders don't make friends with them. They're friendly with everybody, but not those guys.
Yeah.
Which is, again, a very Hobbit-like tendency.
It is, yeah.
Those
You're
are
outsiders.
Yeah.
And they even have language. They say, they have some saying, like, you can't make sense of news from east or west, meaning the Shire folk and the Rangers, respectively.
Yeah.
So that's something the Hobbit would say, too. Like, they don't even trust the hobbits who live in Buckland.
Yeah.
The hobbits, the Shire hobbits,
Fair enough.
So it is sort of
I wouldn't either.
light xenophobia.
Yeah. And it also, there's like that brief mention that some of the brandy bucks are actually like half human. Sort
So
of. They
half human?
They have Bree blood in the brandy bucks.
Yeah, Bree Hobbit. Hobbit.
Really?
Yeah, the context makes it almost clear. It's referring to
Oh, okay.
Breelander hobbits, I'm sure.
Okay, yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Cool. Yeah, but there is
it just completes their picture as kind of outsiders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like you went from the hobbits and Hobbiton to the not exactly hobbits and Buckland to the not exactly humans of Bree to the other races and other like full-blooded humans and real humans at some point later on down the line.
It really feels like they're out of the Shire.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Which is true.
They're in this like, it's a good inn, but it's dark in there, and there's dwarves and scary looking people and fun looking people.
Yeah.
It's just all right. You have a lot of familiar elements and a lot of unfamiliar elements all kind of squashed together.
Yeah. Yeah, as they are stopped at the gate, they're asked questions. There's this warning of there are these weird strangers about. Don't know exactly what that's referring to. Seems to have a double meaning, maybe from what we'll learn later in the chapter. There are mentions of like they are threatened by the scale of the buildings, which are tall for hobbits.
I love that mention, especially Sam.
Yeah,
she's like, we could go live or spend the night with some hobbits here, right? Why do we go to the inn? Frodo's not intimidated by this at all.
Yeah,
like we'll just go to the inn. But it's interesting. Sam is so excited about elves.
Yeah,
but he's really intimidated by just the Breelander humans.
Yeah,
and that makes sense. Like he's probably like just 3 feet or something, and it's like this.
Something like that.
He thought he might see giants, and he was even excited, like in the first or second chapter, talking about how his cousin saw a giant tree man, and now he just sees people.
Yeah,
and it's almost too much for him.
Yeah, well, people are terrifying. People are the worst. There are a lot of things that are true about that, especially in this world, right? Because men are the most easily corrupted out of all the races.
Yeah. I do think it is showing like Sam's naivety or inexperience or what have you in this context.
Yeah.
Though.
Oh, it's nowhere near as bad as he thinks it is. No. And even within the inn, there are hobbit-sized rooms that are available for them.
Yes.
So it is a little home away from home, even though they're starting to, find the really tall buildings and find the taller people and starting to actually get threatened by it.
Yes.
So it's like this, it's another transition point. It's one step further than Buckland, but it's one step, it's still not as far gone as it could be from home. And so there's like an intervening tension there. So before they get into the inn, we should probably pause there.
I think so.
Do you have anything else up till that point? Oh, he's consulting the list.
Nope.
Excellent. Then we will pause there halfway through chapter 9. And next time we will do the other half of chapter 9, and then we'll do chapter 10.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for listening. And if you're reading along with us, well, we'll release this episode when I forget if it's going to be a Monday or a Friday, but we'll have the other one out next time. So good luck.